Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to FTRL F1 for Division 2. Tonight, as you can see, we are at Mexico. We were racing here last night and there were some eventful moments. I think this track should throw up some really good racing tonight. We've got some long back straight areas where DRS is definitely going to come into play, separated by some short technical sections which can definitely separate the men from the boys. I'm here with the one and only Rom Elson tonight, who's going to be on comms with me. So, hello Rom, how are you doing?
Hi Michael, how are you doing? I'm fine.
Not bad. It should definitely be an interesting race, as I was saying a moment ago. I think you might have been watching the F1 race last night. What's your thoughts on what might happen tonight?
Well, I think we might lose a couple of guys on the second sector, like the little S's. It's gonna have a lot of victims tonight, I guess. For the rest, yeah, I hope for some close racing again. Let's have some fun tonight.
Well, around FTRL, yeah, partial for some close racing. In the past, like 3 or 4 races, we have had safety cars coming into play. With the new update, it's increased sensitivity, so they come out more. And I have to say, I'm quite happy with the way the safety car's being deployed. It's to what I think and what I expect. It seems fairly realistic. So, yeah, from the last 3 or 4 races, we've had some action-packed ones where strategies have been flipped on the head, with the safety car coming out and neutralising everything. So, you know, saying it's going to be a very interesting race won't be a far-fetched prediction.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
So we are on board
watching
with Guikop so far. I think he's on a time lap. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, he is.
I'm going to stay on board with him during the third sector. It can be quite difficult, the third sector, especially with that hairpin. You want to get on the throttle quick, but you're followed up by a right-hander, which can definitely unsettle the rear of the car, as Guikop sets a 17.1 on the soft tyre.
Yeah,
just
it's
7/10
Surely after your tires are a bit more wear, yeah, it can be a tricky one. Like you said, you tend to push the throttle a little too early. You just have to be patient and wait that millisecond longer just to have it right.
So, we got Dunzo just slowing over. He's on it in lap right now. So with this, it's got quite a few acceleration zones. I'm expecting that the rear tyres will get worn out fairly quickly. So that's definitely, it's not going to make the sector 2 with the S section easy, as you're trying to get that quick change of direction, but with the rear tyres starting to wear, your car's going to have different ideas, so that's definitely gonna it's gonna catch some people out. We want to keep it PG so far. It's not 9 o'clock yet.
Yeah.
It's just on boards with Zom right now. He's coming out the final corner in the Williams car. He is coming into the pits. So it looks like a lot of people have already started their qualifying session. 9 people have set a lap time so far. We've got Lee Cole just coming out the pits. So it looks everyone's trying to get a lap in early, which we're not quite used to. Quite used to some people trying to wait quite late for it, as Jamie just has a little bit of lag there. You'd think he's invalidated his lap time too. His track map is red.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he isn't pushing it. DRS is in 0.
Zach, FTRL switchback, is in the pits. He has set a 15.6 so far. That's provisional pole, with Donzo in P2 and blue flag in P3. He should be on an in lap, it looks, or is he on an out lap? Let's have a look.
All of his biggest contestants are out lap. And Ross is no. I think Unsafe Release is the first one to be on a lap.
On board at Ross, he's on his out lap, and Yet again, as per usual, he's running the medium compound in qualifying. It's nothing new so far with Ross. He likes to choose the same strategy for qualifying. Run the middle compound, see where that gets him. It looks like he had a bit of oversteer coming into the S section.
Yeah.
He's had to cut part of it. So good job. That's not a quali lap. It's just getting a bit of heat into those tyres. A little wiggle on the straight. So we know that with the nature of the track, safe to say you've got a few straight lines. So I am expecting DRS to play a large part in tonight's race. If you can stick within 1 second of the car in front, you are in a very good position, because that allows you to save your fuel and save your ERS, as Lico very nearly put it in the barrier. So yeah, you can save your fuel, save your ERS. It's gonna ease the load of the race for you, and it's gonna open up more options for strategy, as you can put the driver into more pressure, make them use more fuel in the ERS. So it's definitely for the drivers that are close on pace. Like, we have unsafe release, we have Ross, and we have Jamie, and Switchback, as he's shown last week. As Lico nearly hits the barrier, but he doesn't destroy the car. It's looking like if all three of those drivers get a good quali, that it could be a close race with them tonight. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I totally follow you, mate. Yeah. It's just gonna be about the one that keeps his car straight and doesn't lose his focus. Because, yeah, you can be quick and you can take your turns right, but if you lose it at 1 second, yeah, you're done.
So the DRS is critical around. It's definitely DRS is critical for the race around this track, as you know, if you drop out of it, you're pretty much done for. So yeah, it's definitely gonna put pressure on certain drivers.
Yeah.
We're just having a flick through to see what's going on right now. It's not much.
No, unsafe release, didn't put it in the left yet. Again.
I believe that's him coming out now.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's unsafe release. He's coming out to start an out lap. He is on the soft tyre. I was almost about to call it the super soft. So Lico just came in to swap out a front wing after he very nearly ended his qualifying session. Switchback of 15.2, extending his lead so far in the qualifying standings.
Yeah, Ross did a 160.3 on his mediums, which is very fast as well. He's only like 1 second behind. What's he gonna do on those soft softs? Or is he going to stay with the mediums? What do you reckon?
It's a tough one, because if he runs the mediums, there's a chance he will drop out of the DRS, but it'll also bring him right back into play once the soft tyre starts to wear out. And to my knowledge, the soft tyre, I don't think it lasts an awfully long distance around here. I don't know if you have some intel that I don't.
Yeah. Well, last season we had a race at Mexico, but yeah, that's pretty much the only time I did a league race. So I'm not sure, but if I remember well, your soft tires go like maybe 6 or 7 laps, maybe I don't know, not sure.
It's definitely an interesting one. It looks like Ross has done what you thought he was going to do. He's put on a set of soft tyres, so he will be looking to get an extra lap time from them.
Yeah, it's probably like you said. With that medium tire, will put himself to a bigger risk of losing that DRS second, and he might drop off after a while. So yeah, you could be right about the strategy choice.
on board with unsafe release. He's powering through the S section so far. He's got a nice clean lap in, it looks. He's set the fastest sector 2 right now, so he's just gone purple. Looks like he's going to be a contender for the top spot of qualifying right now. Just stay on board with him. Not the best camera angle, but it'll do. That is unsafe release. That has put him into P2 with a 15.4. Only a tenth and a half. Well, actually just over 2 tenths slower than Switchback in the Mercedes, who is on provisional pole so far. Scott Danzo just letting a couple of drivers through. I believe it's Lee Colliers letting through.
Yeah.
So not an awful lot going on right now. There's Junkie Sport out on a lap. He's coming through the S section in the Williams. He's just cut the final part of the S section. That's his lap gone. He's invalidated, unfortunately.
Oh, and Sen puts us on third.
He has. EVR Son. He is just under a tenth. Has separated him and Switchback for provisional.
Might this be a surprise on the night?
Might just be. I'm curious about FTRL, just Mikey H. He set the fastest time in qualifying last week. I give him what I believe was his first pole position. So I'm wondering what he could pull out the bag tonight. It's definitely going to be an interesting one with him. He did show a very good performance at Spain. Unfortunately, just unfolded on him in the race.
Somebody that's high up the ranks as well, where you don't really expect him to be. It's Max, the 160 on 5th position.
He is. He set a pretty good qualifying time, a 16 flat. He's only done one lap, I believe, so I'll expect him to be back out on track, which he might be. Yes. Is he coming back in? Or is he coming out?
Yeah, he's coming back in.
He's coming back in. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, he's coming back in.
It seemed like he accelerated. Yeah.
It did for a moment, so I thought he was just driving straight through, but his car disappeared, so the team's brought him in. They haven't made him do a drive through in qualifying. So Donzo, he's on a pushing lap right now, and he doesn't manage to improve. He's stuck on a 15.9, but Ross improved. It's a good lap time from him. He's managed to pick up over a second, 1.2 seconds with the soft tyre. So he's definitely looking in contention.
In between 1 and 3rd.
Yes, just over.
That's going to be a close race.
Yeah, definitely going to be tight.
If they keep up this pace, it's going to be nice to watch.
Jamie,
so prepare people.
Jamie hasn't done a lap. That's interesting. So everyone but Jamie at this point in qualifying hasn't done a lap. Is he possibly serving a qualifying ban that I don't know about?
No,
because he doesn't show any
I
intention
don't reckon, because otherwise he would have stayed in.
Strange. Well, he hasn't got long. You can set one hand. He is actually on an outlap coming through the second sector. He was definitely leaving it late. Don't know if he was trying to conserve tyres for the race. It was definitely an interesting decision. He's only going to have maybe 1 or 2 laps to try and get in a solid lap time. So he's put a bit of pressure on himself. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like just somebody driving a bit slow. Can't see anything that looks like a spin.
Yeah, Jamie seems to be the man of the surprising tactics. You remember his early stop at Spa?
Yes, they put himself on the hard tyre to go long. This was definitely a call we didn't expect to be made. He's trying something unexpected again tonight. I think he's trying to throw the element of surprise up on Ross and unsafe release.
played played with not physical game, mind game.
Yeah, playing the mind games. He's definitely playing with fire right now. He's putting himself in a risky position. If he invalidates a lap time within any of these 2 laps, it can really knock him on the back foot.
Yeah, but it seems like pretty nice lap. Very clean. Oh,
you say that. Comms
yeah,
curse.
that might be a validation, not sure. Lap is not showing red, so was a bit wide here. No, he's backed out. You go for a second try, yeah, he does.
Yeah, if you go for a second try, he's got the time to do it. Across the line with 50 seconds left. So this is his final chance to get it done. He's put to right. He's going to make sure.
Will he get an FTRL though? It's already at 30%. That is it.
Yeah, I've got a point. This is an interesting one because he's just used about 7% coming out of one corner. He's only on 10%, and when you get below that 10% threshold on your DRS, that's when you actually start to lose performance. You start to lose horsepower from it. So he's put himself in a tough spot. He's low on energy and he's low on time, low on opportunities to get a lap time done. As Goykarp just manually retires in the session. So let's keep an eye on through the second sector with Jamie.
This will cost him time for sure.
Okay, he's managed to keep it within the white lines.
Ooh,
fastest middle sector. So yellow flag in sector 1. You sounded like something surprised you for a second there, Ron. What was it?
Yeah, he was 1 second 0 ERS. But he puts it in 5th though.
Not bad for only one lap. It's 8 tenths off pole.
Oh, and
that's
switchback with the counter.
It's close margins, but Ross is still on a lap. So it's all to fight for right now.
Damns. Jumped Ross.
He has. Oh, it's very close between the top 3 right now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is why we love Div 2.
I think I've never seen this close before.
No. Ross is backed out of his lap, he's come in the pits, he's settling for P3.
Oh, another contestant, right.
Okay, we've got Max. He's invalidated, I think. No improvement from Max. And it looks like everyone's finished. We've just got 2 people in the pit, so we just need to wait to retire. Yeah, switch back on pole. Very closely followed by EVR Sam. And very, very closely followed by Ross.
Oh my goodness.
It's not even half a tenth separating the top 3. So it's very tense between those 3. God.
If they pull this through to the race, it's gonna be
a fantastic race. They definitely provide... Oh, okay. Switchback's car is currently upside down.
Oh, just missed it.
I just about cut.
What a shame.
Don't quite know what's happened there. I think that's probably something to do with the AI. It's brilliant.
Doing a little bit of breakdancing.
Yes. Brilliant. Brilliant work by Codemasters there. It's got Switchback's car on its head. Something I didn't expect to see as I was flicking through the cars at the end there. So, that is the end of qualifying. We have Switchback on pole position with EVR Sam in P2, Ross in P3, very closely together. Unsafe release 4th, TRS 5th, Jamie 6th, Donzo 7th, Max 8th, Just Mikey and Lee Cole rounds out the 5th row for 9 and 10th. So it's definitely looking like it's going to be close between the top 3. We noticed unsafe release, and Jamie were a little far off, so it's going to be a bit of a tough race tonight for them, I think. Definitely trying to fight their way through the traffic to get further up to a podium position. So yeah, it's looking like we're going to be in store for a good race tonight.
Well, they're in a good position for the first race because they're having the slipstream, so even if they have a rough start, they can go. They can
Not all
follow
lost.
the leaders. No, there's enough time to recover from the bad start.
Well,
So
there's a
they
long
might
race
be in a
tonight.
better position than Switchback maybe.
Possibly, well, definitely, yeah, because Switchback, he is on the front. He doesn't have the luxury of being in someone else's slipstream. And that's actually going to play a role coming down to turn 1 when we start the race, because lads are just going to be starting their formation lap now. Switchback won't have that slipstream going into turn 1, so that's definitely going to put him at a disadvantage, but he can be overtaken on the run. You can see with the camera angle right now, it's quite a long run to the first corner. So it's, from what I've seen in the past, it's a common factor that this track in turn 1, 20 well, around 20 cars the amount we've got today, it can get quite tight as the first 3 corners do really narrow up on the circuit. So people who might be deciding to run 3 or 4 wides going into turn 1 might need to try and sort themselves out before they go through the chicane, before they take somebody out.
Yeah, well, I think the worst start was last season in F2 in our races at Mexico. Everybody some guys broke to the lake, and it was a massacre.
Well, slipstream is going to play a massive part in that, with people carrying extra speed, and hopefully none of the lads massively mess up their braking zone for the first corner, because that could end a few people's races, which we don't want. I'm quite surprised that no one's tried to back each other up to make the drivers' tyres in front cool down. It's just usually a factor we see every now and again. It doesn't look like anyone's trying it.
Pretty much every race.
Yeah, pretty much every race. We aren't seeing it an awful lot right now.
Oh, but when you said it, I think Lee called.
Ooh, yes, Lee has done that. I think Lee's parked the car for the moment. There he is. He has held a few people up, it looks. There's a good couple second gap between him and... There's a 6-second gap between him and just Mike, so... Lee Call's trying some advanced tactics to give himself an advantage, which I didn't quite expect. So everyone just lines up on the grid now, as we just see Junkie Sport driving through a Renault.
Well, terrible angles.
I've got a bad angle with Switchback, but a good one with Sam, so we'll hop on board with him.
Good.
The 5 red lights are out, and away we go. There's a lot of wheel spin and smoke from the guys. It's looking like a good start from Ross and EVR Sam. They're getting really close with Switchback. It's already getting close to 4 wide for turn 1. So there's front wing flying already.
Oh, they seem to keep clean.
It's managing to keep it clean, but there is some carbon fibre being spewed off the side of the road. It's looking like there was contact with Mike. Side by side with Switchback and Ross. Close together, managing to keep it clean. Switchback just about maintains his first position. That was a tense little moment. So flick through the pack, see if anything's going on.
Yeah, Jamie has lost his left end plate.
Oh, Agent Panda almost had an incident with one of the Williams cars. So that was close.
Max also lost his right end plate. No, that's not gonna help him in the middle sector. The rest... Everybody seems fine.
A very tense first couple of corners. Carbon fibre flying all over the place, but everyone's managed to calm down. So it doesn't look too bad so far. But yet again, Switchback is under threat from Ross. It looks like he's got it done,
yeah,
possibly.
He's got it.
Oh, no he doesn't. Switchback's definitely fighting through. Sweeping right around the outside. Well, with turn 1, the nature of the track, it is very wide. You can, if you're on the outside of someone attacking to the inside, as Evie or Sam tries just that with Ross. With turn 1, you can afford to brake really late and just swing the car around the outside, just due to the nature that the track's very wide. So that's definitely an option that some drivers are going to exploit tonight. Because Agent Panda just gets past Goykarp.
That makes it a very fun turn, just because you have that possibility.
There's fighting between the two Williams, and there was almost contact with Junkie Sport and Zom. So that was close.
Well, they've had a good race last week, so I hope for them they can push it through to this week again.
I expect they will. They are a good couple of drivers, and they've been improving throughout this season as Sam's trying to use as much curb coming through the final corner onto the straight, which is unexpected. Well, looks like Ross is going to have another bite of the cake. He's going to try and go down the inside again. Let's see if it works for him this time. Not quite. Switchback just drives around the outside again. I think Switchback's liking the situation he's in with the ability he's got to just use the nature of the circuit being wide to drive around Ross, who's trying to attack the inside. So that's just backing them up into Sam in the Red Bull. He's right up the back of Ross, practically giving him a nudge through the double right-hander. So you mentioned that these might be following through this close lap time to the race, and I think you're not wrong. You are doing so far. It's looking close between them as Zach's about 6/10 ahead of Ross right now. See if he can hold it in the third sector.
Seems to be struggling a little. He already formed a gap of 2 seconds between him and Sam. But he's not gonna have the benefit of the DRS.
Oh yes, Ross has the DRS and so does Sam. So that's going to put Switchback in a very tough position. So you finally get a good camera angle to see. Down the inside, but same old thing. Switchback right around the outside. And that is Jamie coming in the pits. He's down in P17 for a new front wing.
Yeah, he lost an M plate. Left one.
Well, is this Ross? Ross is now in the lead. He's just got past. Yeah, he's got past Switchback into turn 4 to take the lead. But Ross is going to find very soon that he's going to be in the position that Switchback was in a couple laps ago, where he was given the car behind a very large tow. That was Switchback running quite wide.
Yeah, we know from Ross that once he's fast, he can really push that car a little more just to get away from him.
Ross does definitely seem to have that confidence. He's almost got 9/10 on Switchback so far. Yeah, about 9.5 tenths. He sets the fastest lap. Just breaking a second. The Switchback is just within his DRS. But I also believe camera angle shown that Switchback was being attacked for a moment, but not quite. So Ross is definitely pulling out now. So Ross has just got out of DRS from Switchback.
Yeah, so Sam is pushing on Switchback as well, so that's not gonna help Switchback focusing on Ross. So he has to put his focus on Sam at the moment. But Sam seems to be struggling, so might give some space.
Well, the interval between Switchback and Sam has just dropped to 1.2 seconds. So Sam has dropped out of Switchback's DRS. So we'll just move further back down the field to see what's going on. Currently we've got 4 drivers who have opted for the medium tyre. We'll be trying to run long on that. One of those being Jamie, who's on another recovery drive tonight. He is in last position, but Zom,
what happened to
we don't quite know. We're on board with Jamie. He's coming through this section. There's a VSC
from the SS.
So we might be able to see what happened with Zom, possibly.
It will be on the left, I guess. Yeah.
I think he's just hit the curb and lost control of the car.
Yeah.
So unfortunately put it into the barrier. And that's brought out a VSC.
Well, a lot of front runners pitting now. Unsafe release. Max changing the win again.
We've got Junkie Sport coming in.
Might be ups to go pit as well.
Okay, so this is mixing the grid up a bit. We've got unsafe release opting for the hard tyre here, so it looks like he's going to try and run 30 laps on this tyre and go to the end. So that's going to be an interesting strategy for us to keep our eye on. So we know he tried an interesting strategy last week with, I believe it was the same tyre at Spain. He tried to run long and hold podium position, but just about lost it to Jamie.
Yeah, I think 30 laps on the hard is manageable.
It's doable, but it doesn't seem wise. And there is, there's a Renault of Lico, which was facing the wrong direction coming out the S section. Well, not coming out the S section, halfway through the S section. He now has unsafe release up the back.
Car lost it as well.
Lico's in a very tough spot right now. He's lost the rear end through the middle part of the S section.
Oh, just in the wall. Hopefully that's no damage.
We've got, it looks like Blue Flag making a move on AJ and a Renault down to turn 1. It looks like he's got it done in before braking. So I just want to move back to Lee Cole for a moment. Earlier on, well, I say earlier on, it wasn't long ago. He had a moment in the S section in the middle of it where he lost the rear of the car and spun around. And he was having trouble keeping the car in a straight line after he started, so it's definitely heated up his rear tyres and put him in a tough spot. As we've just seen, it looked like, I believe, Max managed to gain 2 positions, both on Junkie Sport and Jamie. So that's Max from P13 to P11. It's good for him.
Yeah, but the battle is not over yet. Oh, and Junkie Sports spins. I think there was a little contact. Not sure. Yeah, there was some.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. There's a bit of contact with Mikey and Lee Collins. Lee's trying to find a way through on a more grippy tyre. So unfortunately for Junkie, he's lost a lot of time now. That's him down to P15. With that spin,
Lee Cole
again. Is that wing damage? Yeah, he's lost half of his front wing. It's unfortunate for him, he'll have to pop into the pit lane, get a new front wing. But within the time of all this going down, we have had switchback pitting for a set of hard tyres, and we have had Ross. He's got a 3.7 second gap to Sam, so he's definitely in a good position right now. I'm expecting this call from switchback to come on the hard tyre to trigger some pit stops for the top 3 of obviously Ross and Sam to come in and change the tyres within a lap or 2. So they don't want to fall victim to the switchback. As Junkie Sport gets a 3-second time penalty. Ross looked like he was having a little bit of trouble through that hairpin. Looked like he was sliding his way through, and that is him in the pits. He's reacting to switch back. Is Sam coming in? Sam's coming in as well. Is TRS coming in? Let's have a look. And McLaren has opted to stay out for another lap. Okay. This is interesting. So, we've had Ross come into the pits to set the medium tyre, whereas switchback is currently on the hard. And I think Zombies has played a very important role for Ross right now. It looks like he's held switchback up, and that's allowed Ross to actually gain a bit of time in the pits. And use the overcut to gain some lap time, so it's a good position for Ross. He hasn't lost position due to an undercut. But it's also not good for switchback. He is under threat.
Well, Ross went on to the medium, so I guess he will have to make another stop again.
Well, Ross will have to make another stop, but, and this is a massive but, he's going to have a lot more grip on that medium tyre, and he's got clean air so far, which he can use to just keep constantly increasing that lap time and gain distance on switchback to allow him to make that second stop and be safe to potentially win the race.
Yeah.
So he's looking in control so far. For Ross,
going for another lap.
Yes. This decision for Ross can either make or break his race. It's always a risky thing to do, to go on an opposing strategy to one of your rivals in the race, and he's doing it, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens between Ross and Switchback. I am expecting Ross to pit in and come out behind Switchback, but then the real question is, how long can the Mercedes hold off the Ferrari for? So that's definitely something to keep in the back of our minds as we're going through tonight's race, as Ross is getting very close to the Renault out in front. I don't know how how Donzo was managing to keep this tyre going so far, including his qualifying laps. He's done 10 or 11 laps on this tyre, so he's definitely coming towards the end of its lifespan. Just as he's leading the race, we'll stay on board through the third sector, and we'll see if he decides to pit in.
Yeah.
Yes, he's coming in. I'm expecting him to come onto the hard tyre, or maybe the medium, you never know. There's Ross down the inside. Well, he's on the inside of the straight. He's already passed before he got DRS, so he's looking in a good spot to overtake AJ fairly easily in the Renault. So that is Ross up into P1. He's retained the lead. Now it's time for him to try and pull out the lead and extend the advantage he's got.
Yeah, now it's...
Oh, Zombies at the moment. Sorry to interrupt today.
No.
Unsafe release. Got past Zombie into turn 1. And Zombie just lost the rear end of the car. And he hit the barrier, but he's very lucky to not gain any wing damage. So he's lost time, but he hasn't lost any wing, so it's culpable. So he's just under a lot of pressure from Jamie, Max, and the McLaren of TRS. This is getting interesting now. Toro Rosso and McLaren side by side into the S section. It was definitely a risky call to make.
Yeah. It's not a move I would make.
I was going to say switchback with blue flag down the inside of Angel Panda to come into the third sector.
Well, this is getting interesting. 5 cars battling for that P5. P6, sorry.
Yes, it definitely is. We've got Jamie following. We've got Jamie leading TRS, who's got Slipstream and DRS on him. It looks like he's going to have to move done before brakes, but is Jamie going to try and come back down the inside? Doesn't look like it. The Zombie defending from Max. Side by side for the whole of the chicane area.
Nicely out by Max.
There's some good racing from those lads. There's Zombie back down the inside of Max. Is he going to try and get the switch back? It's looking like it. Max just run that bit wide, but it's helped him keep the position. And that looks like Max in P7 so far. He's held position.
Yeah, he sent me a message just before the race that he was going to play on the controller again tonight instead of his wheel. It seems
It's
to
interesting.
work out for him.
It's been working well for him. There's no complaints from him so far, making the switch back to his pad for tonight. It's getting very close between that McLaren and the Ferrari right now, battling for P8. It just... Zombies got Donzo all up the back of him. That was very close. Agent Panzernik won it in the barrier. It's all kicking off right now. Donzo, DRS and Slipstream. He's side by side with the Ferrari. DRS doesn't seem to be helping an awful lot. So I'm expecting he's running a bit more downforce. Can't quite get the move done through the first 3 corners. So always got that chance at the turn 4. There's a yellow flag in the first corner. That was more than likely for AJ, just having a little bit of a sideways moment. But there's a Mercedes. Blue flag he's had contact, that's put him in the barrier. He's lost half of his front wing right now.
It seemed to be in a battle with Chunky Sports. So would there have been contact, or was it just blue flag losing the car over the bump?
Well, their blips on the map, they were quite close, but it's impossible to say what it was without speaking to one of the drivers, so we'll try not to jump to any conclusions. We don't
Chunky
quite know.
Sport lost an end plate as well.
So yeah, that's probably indicating a bit of contact. Mikey trying to get that exit to attack. Zombies nearly put his car in the wall out the final corner.
Oh, sector 3. That's... Oh no, that's Max having a collision with... Oh, it's blue flag.
Is that with blue flag?
Yeah.
And that's on his lap back into the pits. It's been very unfortunate. That's a full wing gone. There's a virtual safety car. It's all kicking off tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems like it.
We've got Ross in P1 by 3 seconds so far. There's that much going on, it's hard to keep up. Okay, the VSC has come out. The VSC has been turned off. We're back racing again. So Blue Flag and Max are now running on a new set of tyres, but that's someone's car turned around. I believe that was Mike. I think he's just lost it on the entry. Like yeah, he's just lost on entry with the cold tyres, unfortunately. So his rear tyres are going to be overheated right now.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. So it looks like that corner's caught out a few people tonight.
Yeah, a lot of millions will be spent on noses this race.
Zombie has opted to pit in now. He's run his set of medium tyres 13 laps, and I'm expecting to put on a set of hards. But no, he's put on a set of soft tyres. And a new front wing, I think. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. We'll see who that's for. It looks like it's for Blue Flag, who's retired the car.
Yeah.
That's another virtual safety car. Right now, if anyone's watching the stream, and they look towards the deltas that I've got up on the screen, we've got the gap to the leader. We have a 3.8 second gap between Ross and EVR Sam, and an 8 second gap between Ross and our pole, well, it's 9.4 seconds now, between Ross and our pole sitter Switchback, who is in P3. So that medium tyre is definitely working well for Ross. EVR, he's coming to the pits, and it looks like his team weren't ready for him. He's put on a new set of mediums. He's gonna lost a couple of seconds in the pits. Promotes Jamie into P5 on his recovery drive. Just coming close to the halfway point.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Oh, and Mikey lost the car, yeah.
Yeah, he's lost it coming into the S section. That corner's definitely catching a few people out
Yeah.
tonight.
It's a tricky one, especially when your tires are a little bit more worn. You tend to lose your rear end a lot easier. It tends to slide very easy.
From what we've seen, it's mainly the incidents that are happening at that corner. It's after the VSC, and obviously with the VSC, you're going at a reduced pace. There's less heat in the tyres. There's less pressure, so there's not enough grip. And especially having the heat of the tyres going low, and having your tyres wearing out, it's one of those things that's going to pile on top of each other and makes those opening corners extra hard to get through. And it's just caught a few people out at that normally a high speed corner where you just jam the throttle down after you hit the apex. It's there were people trying that and not being rewarded for it. We'll just have a little flick through the field, see what's going on.
The closest battle seems to be between Agent Panda and AJ.
Okay, let's go on board with them too. Agent Panda's lagged out as you say that. He's left the session.
Well, no battle then.
It's looking like an easy manoeuvre for AJ. He's
Great
just
move,
drove
great
through
move.
him. Yeah. He's activated ghost mode to just drive through the cars of his opponents. So that's all good for him. He's managed to get through the field quite well with that. There's the Renault just gets a 3-second penalty, but Agent Panda's got back in. It's looking like Agent Panda's got some good troubleshooting with his internet. He's managed to get back in fairly quick after lagging out. Kind of reminds me of...
He lost around 3 seconds though in that reconnection.
Kind of reminds me of Silverstone of season 10 when I was leading the race. Some very scary moments when that happens. You're scrambling to get back into the session as quick as you can. Unfortunately at that spot I had a 6-second gap and I managed to hold the lead. It was all good for me, but it's not all good for Panda so far. He's lost the position. So Zombies looks like he's getting close to Donzo so far. He is on a new set of mediums. He's on a new set of soft tyres, closing up to Donzo, who's on a new set of hards. So there's quite a bit of a grip differential between the two. There's Max is retired from the race. That's the 5th virtual safety car we've had.
Yeah,
Where
and
is
all
that?
at the same, yeah, out of the exit of the S's.
Yeah, the exit of the S section.
It's a killer.
If I can make an understatement tonight, it's gonna be me saying that all these virtual safety cars is making tonight's race a bit of a cruise for Ross.
Yeah.
It's making life quite easy for him. He's not got an awful lot to worry about.
The switchback is going in.
He is. I'm expecting to put on a medium set of tyres. And that is what he is doing. Yep, so that is switchback on a fresh set of medium tyres. Now with him pitting in under the virtual safety car, he's essentially got a free pit stop.
Yeah.
And Ross, when he pits in, he won't have a free pit stop. So it's gonna give switchback an advantage. He's come on to P6.
Yeah, he ended up just behind Sam.
Just a little bit of traffic, but he's got a couple lap pressure tyres.
Yeah, I saw it well. There was a 10-second gap between switchback and Ross, so if Sam and switchback work together, they can get back together at Ross. Because I thought the gap between Ross and Sam was only 4 seconds, so.
I would just like to point out that our 3-time Div 1 champion, Dutch Tricks, has just popped in the chat a little earlier, saying FTRL GOAT League, which I think that means we're the best league out there, which I've got no arguments with. Says he misses racing here compared to PSGL, so thanks for the nice comments, Dutch.
We miss you too, man.
Yeah, we definitely do miss him too. Some not as much as others. He did dominate the past 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, but that's just what you get when you put a lot of time into the game and put a lot of practice after. You
So
keep
there
finding those stints.
could be a potential return of a former Div 1 champion.
Ooh.
Potentially. Who knows? Might make next season a bit interesting. It's looking quite close between the... Oh, it's still looking close between Donzo and Zombie so far. The Zombie's on the attack. It's not... Oh, he's going for a dive bomb on the inside of... Oh, what's happened there?
He went into hard, I guess.
Well, you can say that. I don't quite know what's happened there.
He seemed to have dived really hard.
Yeah, okay, it looked like he was running double horsepower for a minute.
Yeah, but he just flashed by. It was like...
I'm lost for words with that. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a situation of his brake not fully registering the input, or he's just completely messed up his braking zone into turn 4, and just lucky he didn't wipe out Donzo. A good bit of spatial awareness from the McLaren.
In the meantime, Ross pitted again.
He has.
Leaving him 7-second gap to Sam and Switchback.
Yes, he does. So Ross hasn't really lost out after pitting in. So that'll be him running to the end for fairly comfortable P1, I'm guessing, because he's only 2.7 seconds behind unsafe release on the hard tyre. So a good time pit stop from Ross. It's kept him in P2, he's not under threat from Switchback. So it's just it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when Ross gets past unsafe release. As long as there's no safety.
And Jamie got an accident contact, I guess, between Switchback and Jamie.
His car's not facing the right way as he does a little spin flick to get the car turned around.
It doesn't seem to have any damage, so the overheated rear tires.
Oh no, he's coming in the pits.
That's going.
I'll just stay on board with him right now, see if he does have any... Oh, he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding.
Yeah, that little accident will have put him off a little.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't have any damage, so he's safe there, but Lee Carl's had another little moment coming into the S section. It's not the best of races for Lee tonight. He's just been struggling a bit with the middle sector, the rear end, just deciding it likes to face south instead of north, which isn't the best thing. We've got what is looking like a close battle between Switchback and Sam so far.
Yeah.
Switchback. Oh, it's getting close between the two.
He thinks better of it this time.
It thought about it, just tucked back in. I was scared there was going to be a bit of a rear end incident going on there.
But in the meantime, they're losing a lot of time.
Yeah.
Ross is now managed to break out his gap to 10 seconds and several release. Besides the... No.
I'm gonna
that was
go.
weird.
Yeah, okay. Sound channel cut off from DRS, but Switchback gets through before the brakes. I'm just gonna go and throw a wild prediction out there right now and say, well, I'm definitely risking commentators' curse saying this, but I think Ross is gonna cruise to a victory tonight as long as there's not a safety car.
Ooh, you think?
I'm getting dangerous with my words. I could potentially curse him.
Jinx.
Well, most of the commentators here have jinxed someone, so it's not all that bad.
Yeah, but knowing Ross, he can keep it very consistent and very, very clean, so I think you might be right.
I've had people try and drop a comms curse on me before, so I'm not shy of doing it myself. I'm talking to you, Pagani. Starting to quiet down on track.
Shots fired.
I'll always fire shots at Pagani. See what? Zombies came in the pits and he has put on a fresh set of softs. That's brought him
12
out
laps,
into
that's gonna be
P12.
tough.
Well, we did have Donzo run 9 laps when he ran a couple laps of full pelt in qualifying, so I think it's doable, but the tyres will be definitely at the end of the lifespan once he gets to the end of the race. And talking about worn tyres at the end of the lifespan, unsafe release. He's on 18 lap old hard tyres, and there's an 8.3
Is he gonna pull it off again?
Well, I think this time he can't actually pull off a podium. There's only 12 laps, and he's got an 8-second buffer between him and Switchback. So I think that he might just be able to hold P2.
Yeah, he managed to jump 2 positions with his tactics.
It's looking promising for him. The strategy that he tried last week didn't work out, but he's given it another crack this week, and potentially could be working. It looks like Switchback's starting to gain a little bit. So you never know. It's going to be tight between them at the end of the race. So,
This
EVR
time be close
and
enough for
Switchback.
making a move. I reckon not. Oh,
That is Guikop retiring in the middle
lost it
sector.
at the...
Oh, okay.
It's...
Sam's down the inside to switch back. He's just missed his braking points, and there's a safety car.
a safety car. Well, that's not gonna be a cruise anymore for us now.
No, definitely not. It's gonna put Switchback within grasp of Ross, and that means unsafe release pretty much has no option but to pit in for a set of soft tyres if he has them.
Yeah. Oh, this race is very interesting.
It's definitely flipped the strategy of this race on its head. So, what was looking to be a cruise for Ross is going to turn into a sprint, because after the safety car we're going to be left with about 7 laps left, and the field's going to be bunched up.
Ross coming in as well.
Yeah, Ross was.
I think everybody gonna pit.
Yeah, Switchback
Nope,
staying
stays
out.
out.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
This is a risky move. It could pay off, but it could blow up in his face. So it's...
It will probably blow up.
Yeah, that's right, it'll probably blow up. But kudos for trying it. It might work, you never know. Because the slipstream and DRS is very important. If he can just hold on, which will be very difficult, but possible, he might be able to hold a race win. Potentially. He was last week's race winner, so I won't count him out of it.
I'm not sure. I think this might cost him a potential win.
I think so. I think a Mercedes driver put on a Ferrari strategy call so far. It's looking like a tough situation, but Ross, unsafe for all on the same compound. So it'll be a sprint between them 3 for the end of the race. And just for any of those wondering, if you're seeing the Renault, who is currently ghosted, that is only because he is a lapped car. So within an update that came a couple months ago from Codemasters, they pretty much made it so in an online race, any driver that you lap is now a ghosted vehicle. So just a little bit of a clarification if someone's new here and he didn't quite know why. So that is your explanation. So it's just everyone bunching up behind the safety car right now. It's looking like Zombie's just come through turn 3 and the safety car's on the back straight. So he's definitely going to have to push to get back with the safety car. Otherwise there's a chance it might leave without him. Just everyone wiggling around trying to get heat into the tyres. So, the race has been neutralised. The race for the lead is pretty much just Ross, Unsafe Release and Sam. I'm going to throw a hard question at you now, Ron. Who do you reckon is going to pull off the race win?
I don't know. Ras and Unsafe Release are close to each other in means of pace, so might be a fun battle. Yeah, Sam has shown good play as well tonight, so if he keeps it up this way, he will go for a podium, I guess. Switchback didn't make the best of choices with staying out a little bit and continuing on the mediums. But yeah, we'll see. You never know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ross for the race win. I think, as we noticed about lap 3 or 4 into the race, we noticed that Ross managed to get past Switchback and pretty much within the lap managed to pull out a 1.2 second gap and break that slipstream. So I think he could do it, but there's always that factor of he's got a pretty quick and a pretty competitive Unsafe Release behind him. He's not really going to let him run away with the race win. He's going to do everything he can to put an end to Ross's lead of the race. So I think it's going to be a close one between Unsafe Release and Ross. And I'm expecting it to all kick off between the midfield coming into turn 1, with the fact that there's quite a lot of slipstream and some very cold tyres. There's not an awful lot going on so far. Everyone's bunched up, apart from Zombie. He's not too far back, just a couple 100 metres. And then we'll probably be getting ready to start the race again. So I am expecting that the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, which only makes sense. It's been out for about 3 laps. So we'll see in a moment. So if anyone wants to get a bit risky and put your predictions for the top 3 in the chat, I would like to know, because personally I reckon it's going to be Ross, followed by Unsafe Release, followed by EVR Sam for the top 3. I think the man going to use that soft tyre to just get past Switchback on his old set of mediums.
Safety car is going in.
It is, finally. The race will be getting underway.
8 laps to go. We have Switchback at first, Ross at second. Unsafe Release. Oh, and there seems to be a bunch up. Or was it?
It is. Switchback has just decided to make life tough and jam the throttle when he thinks is fit.
Race is back on.
Just stuck his foot down coming out the final corner. But
Yeah,
Ross
Sam has lost a wing plate.
He has. But my top 3 predictions wrong.
Already?
Yeah, within the space of a corner. Oh god.
Was getting a 3-second penalty to move the lanes, that's right.
It was. EVR Sam just managed to hold off Jamie, but Jamie's going to attack for the outside of turn 4, which will be the inside of turn 5. So, oof. Sam giving Jamie a bit of a squeeze. Manages to hold position.
Yeah, Jamie got a penalty for that.
He did indeed.
course.
As we've got two drivers of the Haas Jamie and the McLaren TRS cutting the entry of the S section, just running wide. Ross has already pulled out 1.4 seconds from Switchback, and Switchback's got a 9/10 gap between unsafe release. So Ross has put himself in a very good spot so far. 1.8 seconds between him and the driver in P2. So, with no critical mistakes, it's looking like Ross might be able to seal the win with 6 laps to go. But we've got unsafe release all over the back of Switchback. Just defending the outside going into the chicane. Manages to hold it, but he's going to be in deep trouble coming down into turn 4. It's getting close, Rom. It's getting close to squeezing each other. Definitely creating some tension. I was hoping Switchback would go for a switchback for a moment, but it wasn't meant to be.
Oh, something.
I've seen it. It looks, yeah. The Force India's gone off. Well, technically it's an incident between Panzer and Junkie Sport. Seems Panzer's held him up coming out of the double chicane. You never know.
Well.
I think that might have been Panda doing the swearing without actually swearing to the Williams driver.
Nicely put it. Yeah, but he lost an end plate as well, so...
We'll put it in PG terms. Zombie right in the back of Donzo, he'll have DRS. So I think that's going to be a fairly easy move coming into turn 1. We'll stay on board and we'll just see just in case. You never know, Donzo might try and swing it around the outside. No, Zombie thinks better of it. Holds position. That is Panda coming into the pits for a new front. Well, actually, he didn't change his wing. The team didn't change Panda's wing. So that's a bit of a predicament.
Fix that with the last update?
What I think he's done is he's left it on auto and not actually put it on yes. So I'm not quite sure what's happened.
Didn't they say they were going to fix that issue with the last update?
In the last patch notes, they did say that when a driver comes into the pits with damage and the repair wing option onto yes, that it would repair the wing no matter the amount of damage. So the only thing I can think of is it basically being a mistake of Panda putting on the wrong setting on his MFD coming into the pits. It's just unfortunately left him without a new front wing coming off the pits. Or the Racing Point team on limited resources have just ran out of them. It's one of the two. But we'll never know. Right, Zombie down the inside of Donzo. He takes P8. Will Switchback? No, Switchback. No. Zombie has got the DRS, even though he is in front. There's not an awful lot going on right now, is there? All the gaps starting to fall out. Mexico is always a bit of a tough race, and I think the amount of virtual safety cars we've had tonight has definitely proven my point.
Ooh, and Ross is getting another 3-second penalty.
He is. Could you possibly check the race director to see what penalties Ross and Unsafe have, please?
Just checking.
Thank you.
Do you want me to tell it?
I don't know. No, don't. Let's we'll see when they cross the line. Don't want to spoil it. So, a little earlier on, we had we had Max put in the chat his top 3 prediction was Unsafe Elise for the win, Ross for P2 and Jamie for P3. It's not exactly played out well for him with the prediction. It's looking like Ross is managing to pull out a fair bit of a gap, but say Jamie P3, he has lost the rear coming into the middle sector, and that is him down, well, it's him out of the race with only 3 laps to go.
Yeah, that middle sector has really been a killer tonight.
It's been an area which has caught out quite a few drivers, to say the least. But Jamie has left the session, that caused a quick little lag spike, it looked for a moment. So, it's getting close between the Renault of AJ and TRS. AJ is within DRS of the McLaren. So it's gonna be a bit of cat and dog until the end of the race, with the Renault trying to get past the McLaren.
Yeah, yes, no ERS left. It doesn't make it that easy.
Yes, you
the
see.
ERS on the other hand has still 80% left, so he's in a very relaxed position now.
Here we see the Renault is coming through the middle sector. He's just under 10% and he's got the battery in overtake, so it's not the most efficient way to be using the energy. Should be saving it and waiting for the straight. Try and mount an attack. But momentarily he literally went on to 0% TRS. So we'll stay on board with these two for a bit. We'll see what happens down into turn 1, because we know on this game that the slipstream is powerful, especially when you've got DRS and a little bit of energy. But there's a 7/10 gap between the two. It doesn't look like that gap's closing much. So that is TRS hanging on for one more lap.
Yeah, it seems like Switchback managed to hold that third position well. Nobody built a gap of 3 seconds.
3.1 seconds to the guy in P3. So it's definite. I think he'll probably be punching himself a little bit with the strategy call.
Yeah.
But he'll also be happy with the fact that he managed to hold P3. So it's a good drive from him. As long as no mistakes are made between, well, in this final lap, which Ross is managing to start right now. As my voice cracked while I was talking. It's not what you want when you're doing comms. So we'll just move back with AJ and TRS. This time round, AJ's actually got some ERS to work with. He is 9/10 behind the McLaren, so it's going to be a bit of a gap to catch. We'll see how much that slipstream and DRS is worth. It doesn't exactly look like he caught much.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much.
It didn't really do anything for him, which was pretty unexpected. I thought he'd catch up by at least a couple tenths, but it looked like AJ managed to actually pull out. So that's definitely interesting. We'll see what he can do in the middle sectors. We'll have to be sure to move back on board with Ross in a couple moments, as he'll be coming through to finish his final lap. We'll go on board to them now.
Yeah, right.
So a fairly dominant race from Ross. He took the lead on the start of lap 4 and he pretty much just ran away with it ever since. He's came through to take P1.
Ooh, but will he keep it?
Potentially, who knows? There are penalties that come into play. Oh!
No!
Okay! Okay!
Well, that's why I ask you, do I need to say or not? Because he didn't have any penalties on save release.
I am a little shocked for words. There's unsafe release takes the win with Switchback second and Ross third.
We lost a position at the last corner.
He did. That's Junkie Sport just taking a little tour through the third sector. You think he's run out of fuel?
Fans.
Yeah, he's waving to the Williams fans. I think he might have run out of fuel. Is he going to do a donut? We don't know. Oh, he's just letting Panda through. I was curious then, he looked like he was going to go off the circuit at turn 10, and I thought, turn 10 at the hip, and I thought, is he going to give a couple of donuts? I was a little confused for a moment.
Well, we were for a mid-season race, but...
A lot of thoughts went through my head then. Most confusion. And that is unsafe release, taking his Toro Rosso to P1. So, after a pretty eventful race, the only driver to not get a penalty was actually unsafe release, where he was our race winner, and somehow Ross got 20 seconds of penalties. We'll just have a quick look through the drivers, I was going to say the drivers' standings, the race report. We'll have a quick look to see where those penalties come from.
Yeah, he had an unserved penalty at the end of the race, which really cost him second place as well.
I think it's a lot for just cutting the corners, which is unfortunately landed him 20 seconds where the penalty is, and unfortunately took the race win off him. So I think that might have been part of the reason why Switchback decided, you know what, I'm not going to pit, I'm going to stay out and use this tyre, possibly. I don't quite know.
Yeah, but even then,
try and get them in.
Why would take the risk?
You never know what goes on in the driver's head in these situations. So we'll just try and get the invites out through them. We'll just have a quick little interview with the three of them. Just get a bit of a race rundown from them, what was going on through their minds as they were trying to fight for the win. So we should have them all with us within a few moments. So we've got unsafe release in, just waiting on Switchback and Ross. We have Switchback.
One to go.
Just wait on Ross, and we're all set to go for the interviews. But lads in here can just give a quick check, see if the voice is on share, just so everyone can hear you. So we'll just have a quick check, see if that's everyone. And it is. So, lads, we got you back in here again. Definitely an interesting race. Quite a few virtual safety cars and a safety car to top it off for the fourth race in a row. Just want to say, a good race from your lot tonight. It's not an easiest track to throw the car around. So we'll just start off with unsafe release. We managed to take the race win tonight. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I didn't expect that, to be honest. since Mexico is not my best track in the calendar. And damn, my tires were cooking. That was very hard to negotiate, especially after the safety car. I switched to softs and didn't expect that the softs are already like 4 or 5 laps totally down. Was hard to keep up with Ross. I was totally aware of his penalty situation, so I just had to keep it below 9 seconds in the end. Somehow he had more penalties at the end, so I was surprised about the victory.
It was definitely interesting. I thought he was going to hold it, but unfortunately for him, he lost the race lead. You qualified, I believe it was P5 from qualifying.
P4.
P4. It looked like there was a bit of a gap in lap time between you and the pole sitters, who were very close together. It was quite shocking. Did you think there was a possibility of managing to pull off a race win tonight, or was it just trying to get the best out of the car? Because you have mentioned that Mexico was a bit of a tough track for you.
If I kept it together in qualifying, I maybe qualified in P3 in the end, but not much that better. So yeah, it was totally down to luck to keep up with the guys in front and then just concentrate on the track. Don't collect any penalties, don't cut the corners, especially in sector 2, and then it was a bit hectic with the virtual safety cars. It messed up the racing a bit, I guess, for the guys, especially in midfield. And I couldn't take advantage of the first virtual safety car because Zombie was totally holding me up there, but yeah, in the end, still race win, didn't expect it, so couldn't be happier about it.
It was definitely a great job. You were the only driver who actually managed to complete the race without picking up a penalty, so definitely a good job there from you. Well done.
I had 2 warnings.
Oh, so it was definitely close at times.
It was, especially in the last lap, I said, "Oh no, don't pick a penalty. I need to keep below 9 seconds because of Ross." But yeah,
you managed to do it.
Good job.
It's a good job. So we'll just move on to, I was going to say Junkie Sports. We'll move on to Switchback. My brain's starting to go on me. Leave me alone. So you managed to start off on pole, and you decided to go for a bit of a different strategy. You decided to boot on a set of hard tyres. What was the thinking behind that? Because I thought everyone was gonna run the hard tyre, but you decided to run the medium.
I didn't like the softs at all. I didn't have much pace on them and they were wearing too high, so I came in a little bit early and thought I'd put on the hards, because I'm quite quick on the hards compared to most other people, so I thought it'd be a good idea. And then as I was getting further on, there was a virtual safety car and I decided I was going to put on the mediums because they could have got to the end. But obviously then the safety car came out, so when the safety car came out I thought, do I pit? But then I saw everybody else pit and I thought, I knew a lot of them had penalties. I knew all the safe didn't have any penalties, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't think I had the pace to win the race anyway. So I thought, I'm pretty sure Unsafe was going to win it anyway because of the penalty situation, so I thought I might as well just stay out on the mediums and get track position and then just hope there's a little bit of carnage behind after the restart. But I'm very happy with Hito, very happy. I didn't even expect to finish this race, to be honest. I had so many penalties last time, so we did this, so I'm very, very happy.
It was definitely a good job at points. I thought, okay, this could definitely be close between Switchback and Ross in terms of both running a different tyre and a different strategy. Were you hoping that if without the safety car coming in that you'd be able to kind of turn your car into a bit of a mobile chicane after Ross pitted in?
To be perfectly honest, it's not a track you can easily defend. I managed to defend from Sam quite a bit, just to kind of keep him behind, but when someone's got DRS behind you, it's near enough impossible to try and keep them behind because of the length of the straight. So anytime I think Ross came up behind me, I knew Sam came up a couple of times behind me and I just let him go because I thought there's no point battling. Unsafe overtook me, and once again I knew he was going to be quicker than me because he was on the soft, so I just thought, let him go, there's no point ruining my race and just let them go. But I didn't expect to be able to keep them behind. Even if I went on the mediums, I expected I was going to finish second or third. But it was just because Ross had a lot more penalties that I managed to get second. They wouldn't have, Ross easily had the pace on me today, but it was just because of the penalties I got second.
It was definitely a good drive, and you managed to come home and take P2, so it's definitely a good drive from you. So well done.
Cheers.
So we'll just move on to Ross, who managed to take P3 tonight. It was definitely close through qualifying. Did you expect that closeness on pace to stay within the race? Did you quite expect a tough battle throughout the whole of the race?
I expected a tough battle throughout the whole race. Like, just everyone was just there, but yeah, qualifying was really close. And then the race started, and I got a good start, and I was like, I'm gonna go past you, and I just wanted to get in front. I didn't want to be sitting behind cars and do that Estes, so that's what I did. Got in front, and then the penalties just kept coming. Yeah, I'm surprised I never got disqualified, to be honest, for the penalties. But so I seen him go to the hards, and then I was like, I'll mix up. I'll go to the mediums, and then what was it? I seen him pit for mediums, and the Delta thing said that I'd come out in second or third. So I was like, I'll just pit onto a new set of mediums that can go to the end, just to stay ahead, because I knew unsafe was still on the hards at that point. So and then. Yeah, the safety car came out and mixed it all up.
This is definitely unfortunate. What was they actually weren't coming up on the spectator mode at the bottom corner, usually comes up penalties, but we weren't actually seeing that coming up with a penalties. What section of the track was it that you were quite struggling with tonight?
I got 2 5-second ones and 2 of the different virtuals, just like for having just the slightest bit off the track.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
The rest of them were just, like just little cuts through the S's and stuff like that. But I got the 2 big ones were like 2 5-second ones I got on the virtual safety cars, but there's not really much you can do about it. I still got some decent points. So.
Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate. Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate you lost a couple of positions, but you managed to hold a podium, so you definitely did score a good chunk of points tonight, so well done to you. You did hold some great pace throughout the race. So yeah, definitely well done. I'm gonna hand yous off to Rom if you have any questions for them.
No, everything is fair to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a very fun race to watch. Good performance by everyone. Congratulations on Saturdays for the win.
So,
yeah. Cheers, mate. And yeah, GG to Switchback and Ross. Still, even though you had gained a lot of penalties, you had the pace for the win. Yeah, so I was totally lucky today, I guess. But yeah, the championship keeps going. What's the next race?
it's Baku.
Oh no.
What are your thoughts about? I'm gonna fire off one final question to the three of us. Baku, it's not known for being a spacious track to go side by side. How were your thoughts about that one?
Season wall.
Silence.
So I'm getting a no comment from a couple of us.
It's gonna be interesting.
As long as I can get through the castle, I'll be fine. But
It can be fun. It can be fun sometimes, especially down the last sector. Basically, the whole straight, good racing, but then the castle section is nuts.
It's a lot harder to get penalties on as well, so it should be.
Well, it was definitely a good race from you lads. We will be moving on to Azerbaijan next week for a pretty difficult race around Baku, and I believe the last time we raced there was season 10, and there was in Div 1 there was a fairly tough incident on the final lap with some of the drivers in the top 3, so we are expecting a pretty hectic race there next week. We will be back with the lads in Div 1 a Tuesday night at 8 PM, and we'll be back with F2 on Wednesday night at 8 PM as well. So thank you all for tuning in tonight and watching the race with us, and we'll see you next week.